all the puzzle pieces that were uncomprehendable. They were so confusing. They were so terrifying. They were so like anger provoking. It turns into mush, turns into love, turns into the light bulb, moment of wow, it all is good. Not it all not only it all fits into place, but it's all good. It's all good for me. That's a hard level to jump. That's like jumping really high, To feel and believe that it's all from Hashem is one thing, but then to believe it's all for my good, that's jumping very high.
Guess it's time to clean up.
Yes,
Very cute.
What?
Everybody's so precious. Really, Mamash. This is our fun day to be with our air conditioner.
Ever.
Beautiful sisters.
Yeah, officially. It's a joy and a merit to be here. Very happy to see you.
I stopped by to see Tatiana.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, how is she? Yeah.
Is she at home?
No, she still needs prayer. She's at home.
What's happened?
She still needs prayer. Tanya told about
Rosa. She's having trouble with her stomach.
Oh.
And she's not getting properly fed.
Oh, yeah, she put it on.
So, I'm a walker.
Also, my brother, these are for Shalema. His name is Yoel Mordechai ben Chaika.
Yoel
Mordechai
Ben
Chaika.
Oh.
For Shalema. And a friend is
Your
Beital Tova Bat Ruth. But Ruth, she had a CT and she had an MRI, and the doctor wants to discuss it today.
Oh dear.
And she already went
Tova Bat Ruth.
Meital.
and
And she said to us, tomorrow we're going to discuss it with the doctor, but Hashem is my doctor.
All
And
right,
she
yes.
says, whatever Hashem wants, I'm not alone on this journey. He's with me.
Right.
And please pray that I have emunah. Please pray for me that I have joy and that I believe in him. That I come to a place of shalvat bitachon. Shalva means relax and peace. Yeah, harmony, peace. And I have that feeling, and not that the opposite, that's scared, like bewildered, but shalvat bitachon. She asked that she ask Hashem and ask us to daven. That's what Hashem would be good news.
What's her brother's second
my
name?
son,
Adam.
he's got depression. And he's not been getting out of bed, and he was found drunk in the streets. And I don't know what to do. I try and send him funny things on the posts, but I don't know what to do. I want him to be lifted from this depression, and he doesn't know who he is, because he said, I feel like a Jew amongst when I'm with Gentiles, and I feel like a Gentile amongst Jews, because his dad wasn't Jewish. So he's very messed up about this. He's Jewish. He's Jewish by name, but he's very confused.
He's Jewish.
Yes. Oh, okay.
We all have in our lives, the Vilna Gaon says, the whole Torah is part of each and every one of our lives today, like you were describing. Sometimes we're high, like we're on Mount Sinai receiving the Torah. Your friend is in there. Yeah. Hi. Sometimes we feel like we're at Har Sinai receiving the Torah. Sometimes we feel like we're serving the idol, the golden calf. We're so low. It's the same person, but it's different times. And each time we try to hang on with strength and with joy and with emunah that, you know what? Hashem is putting me through this for a reason. And I can hang on to him because I'm never going to leave him and he's never going to leave me. We're like this. We can't leave each other. Like that song we were singing in Hallel. Judy said it's been going through her mind since Hallel. It's been going through my mind since Sukkot. Ahavas Olam, Tavi Lahem, everlasting love to bring to them. Hashem has everlasting love for each of us. And so finally, Yosef comes face to face with his brothers, with Binyamin, his younger brother, his only brother from his mother. And they cried on each other's shoulders, on each other's neck. And Yosef and his brothers believed that Hashem had a reason, that Yosef had to be sold, and they felt Hashem's providence, his hashgachat Hashem for each of them. And Yosef said, the last thing I'll do is bear hatred for the rest of my life. Because a person who, remember when he was in the prison, if he would have been sitting there bearing hatred, he would have rotted. Not them. They're out, eating.
Yeah, it would
They're out
separate his connection from Hashem.
from Hashem, from them. It doesn't hurt them as much as it hurts him.
Yeah.
Tatiana Shever Shalem often says that when a person bearing a grudge is hurting themselves, not the person they're bearing for it. And they're the ones that are the victim because of that.
Right.
And just like there was no hatred between Yosef and Binyamin. Binyamin wasn't born yet. He loved him very, very much. Remember, he said to Binyamin, do you have any brothers? He said, I have one brother from my mother. And tell me about him. Do you have any children? He said, I have 10 sons. And each son I named after my brother Yosef, after something that happened in his life. I remember 2 of them. Maybe you remember more.
His bar mitzvah, everything that happened.
His
One son was named
after.
Yeah.
Well, so
his marriage.
His marriage, right? That's what I remember. The 2 of the time I remember is chupim and mupim. Chuppah is a chuppah. That's why you're so saying.
When you get
I
married.
was not at his, exactly. I was not at, and Binyamin named his sons. 2 of them. I was not at his wedding, and he was not at my wedding. Chupim, like chuppah, like you get married, and he started crying when he heard that. He didn't reveal himself yet. That was last week's Parsha. He reveals it this week's Parsha. But he started crying. He went out to cry.
Would do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's so beautiful.
And they remembered and had that hung on to that love forever. And this when Yehuda approached him, Vayigash Yehuda, he was approaching him as a wild, irrational king, that accusing us of being spies and making up stories and putting the gavia, the wine goblet into Benjamin's part. Thank you, and giving him 5 times. He's like setting us up. We're not stealing. Benjamin is the most honest person in the world. Benjamin is one of the few people that never sinned. He's going to steal, and so first he was an irrational, crazy king, and all of a sudden he's our brother. All of a sudden, I knew Yosef. He says, I am your brother. And that happens throughout our lives. We all experience in one way or another confusion, unexpected turn of events, things that don't make sense. And all of a sudden, Hashem says, Ani Hashem. I am Hashem. And it all fits. It all not just makes sense and not just perfect, but for my good, because Hashem loves me. And the Vilna Gaon says this, that this happens to everybody in the course of our lives. And he was betrayed by his closest family, which is a rough one. It's very, very hard on the scale. And Reb Schechter says that in all of the Tanakh, if we had stopped at the Cheda Egel, if we had stopped at that point, if we had stopped at the Meragdim, at the spies, if we had stopped at the sale of Yosef, we wouldn't have got up to these words in this Parsha, Ani Yosef, I am Joseph, your brother. We wouldn't have got up to like, when everything fits. And we just have to hang on tight, even if we're in the dark. Hanukkah is the darkest time of the year. The 5th day of Hanukkah never falls out on Shabbos, Dina said today. Thank you. And it's the darkest day of the year, I believe.
Summer solstice.
No,
And
the
winter.
22nd.
Well, yeah, it's
today.
close.
It's today, right?
Today's the 22nd, yeah.
Oh, today.
And it's,
Something.
but this
Yeah,
holiday
very
is
good.
so dark in times of long nights and short winter days. And when do we light the Hanukkah light? At night, when it's dark. Shabbos we light before Shabbos, it's still light.
Yeah.
Hanukkah we light Dafka at night. Dafka because we're turning the night into light. We're turning what we can't understand, what seems black and bleak and confusing, into Ani Yosef. I am your brother Joseph. Into Ani Hashem. Hashem. If we hang on, we'll see that. And then everything will be so clear with just those 2 words. Everything will fall into place, like everything did now when he said it. Yosef. And Hanukkah is a time when Hashem comes to the lowest people and shines into us hope and faith and love and light and he shines into us when we're at the lowest place. The Hanukkah are lit under 10, it comes all the way down. They're lit outside at the Petach Bachutz, when we're like out of it, we're out of it. On the left side, we'll wake up on our left foot, we're on the left side. To all the situations, to all us, these people low down, Rabbi Biederman said, he quoted that Hanukkah is a holiday for middle type of people. Beinonim, like plain people. And he said, it's just for me. Just for me. It was made just for him, he said.
My son, Adam Ben Maxine.
Adam Ben Maxine. Miriam.
Well, I don't want to call
Okay,
myself that
Maxine.
because I can't recognize who I am.
Okay, so Adam Ben Maxine. Adam knows Maxine very well.
I understand that very well.
Would they call in? I don't know. Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
And also, I would say that for me, also, when I like the Hanukkah, it links me to my ancestors.
Wow.
I mean, I contemplate this a lot when the candles are lit. I'm thinking about my father now of blessed memory and my grandparents and who was my great grandfather like 1,000 years ago. Also kept the Masorah. It's like it really links the chain all the way back to the miracle too, about and who we are.
Also today, Chaim said that so many of us, so many Jewish people that don't keep anything, keep the Hanukkah.
Yeah, they light it.
They light it, and they do it in a milchar, the best way.
Yeah.
Because the Shulchan Aruch, the Torah says, the law says it could be done just one light every night.
Yeah.
And one person in the family. No, it seems like every Jew does it one and then 2 lights and all the way up to 8. And then if there's other family members, they also light. And it's we all feel how Hashem is coming down and hugging and embracing each of us wherever we are and what dark situation and low place we are. He's showing us his love, and he wants us to feel it and to sit up straight and walk with a good move and light and feel that joy, feel that excitement, and feel that pride to be his daughter, to be his children. Yehuda was before Yosef revealed himself, he was yelling at him. He said, "You're crazy. You set us up. You lied to us. You fooled us." And one day, when we'll each understand this, we'll feel the truth. When Hashem says, "I staged this. I put it all up just for you. Just for you. I set it up just for you." And, when we hear Musar, and people tell, and let's say a rabbi talks and gives Musar, you have to be better, you have to give more charity, you have to be kind, you have to not be angry or selfish. Nobody wants to feel he's talking to me, sort of like I ignore it, like it's the other person that he's talking to me. I got it all together. And it's hard to accept. But when Yosef said, Yosef, that your brother that you sold, there was no looking around, it's the other guy. They realized it was them. And they were embarrassed.
Such a monumental moment, right?
Yeah. And they were embarrassed. They thought he's going to get back at them. But you know what he says? Ani Yosef Hashem achartem oti. I am the same Yosef when you sold me. I had love in my heart for you. I'm the same Yosef with love in my heart for you. And a woman came to Rabbi Aryeh Levi, and she said her husband treats her terribly, like not at all good. And so he says, "Well, do you want me to talk to him? I'll tell him that he should treat you nicely." "No, if he hears that I went to a Rav, I'm finished. Don't talk to him." So Rabbi Levine had an idea. He said, "I give a shir. Your husband comes to this shir. Maybe once a week I give a class. At this class, I'm going to talk. I'm going to weave it in how important it is to be nice and kind and pleasant and patient." And Rav Isser Zalman Meltzer was at that class, a very great Rav at the time. He was married to Bela Hinda. He was the father-in-law of the founder of Lakewood Yeshiva, Rav Aaron Cutler. He was at the class. Now, just a little background about his relationship. From the beginning, it was legendary. When they were engaged, he came down with tuberculosis. He had no money, and he slept in a butcher's shop because he found a bed there or maybe on the floor, and it got cold, and got to keep the meat cold. Anyway, he got tuberculosis, There was no door. And his wife's, his kala, his bride's mother wanted them to break the shidduch because he's a sick man. He has tuberculosis, but she wanted to marry him. His wife Bela wanted to marry him. So his mother-in-law, look, she was a widow herself. She realized how hard she wanted to save her daughter from this. And so they went to the Chafetz Chaim, no less, to ask a shaila, what should they do? And the Chafetz Chaim said, go ahead, marry him. And the mother was crying, but he's so sick. Why did you give her the go-ahead side to marry him? And the Chafetz Chaim answered, there are healthy people that die young, and there are sick people that live long lives. He will be sick, but he will live a long life. He lived until a ripe old age. We're talking about Isser Zalman Meltzer. He survived the war, which is very one of few. He rebuilt a whole life. He lived here in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim, and they had a very, very special appreciation for each other. In fact, there's a beautiful story. Once Isser Zalman Meltzer was giving a class. He was giving a test to his students. Everyone think I'm not boarding them. Giving a class to his students, and his wife came in. She never walked in the middle of his classes, and she whispered something to him. He jumps up, puts on his hat, and he runs out. A half hour later, he comes back. What happened? Why did you run away? What did she whisper to you? And he said, she whispered to me that the milk boiled over on the kerosene stove that they had. Well, we've heard of greater tragedies. I mean, there's war. It was terrible. He had to jump up and leave the class. And he said, because he asked her why. What is Hashem telling us? And she asked him, why did the milk burn over? What message is Hashem giving? And he asked her, and she asked him, and she answered that she knows why. There was an old man, a milkman. He used to come and deliver the milk in Yerushalayim to their door. Yeah. And he was paid once a month on Rosh Chodesh. And for many years, this was his job, and they paid him on time. They're honest. And one day he retired. He got old and he retired. So the next Rosh Chodesh knocks on the door. Yes, can we help you? What can we do for you? Well, my money. I want you to pay me. But you're not delivering the milk anymore. Well, just because I stopped delivering the milk, I should starve? Like, so what? Oh, okay. You're right. You have a point there. They paid him every month on Rosh Chodesh. No delivery, no service. They paid him every month. And today, it's Rosh Chodesh, his wife reminded him. And in the morning, we had a bris to go to. We weren't home. I'm imagining he knocked on the door, and we didn't answer. And he probably thought, well, how long are they going to pay me for a service that I don't deliver? They're not getting the service. They stopped paying me. They got tired of it. He's probably upset. He's probably afraid that he's going to starve. So Hashem had the milk spill over to tell us this. So her husband and he said, that's what my Rebbe said, my wife said. It must be true. They went to his house, and from outside they heard him crying and praying and saying, Hashem, what's going to be? I'm finished. I'm going to starve. I have nobody to pay me for the milk that I once delivered. And they knocked and they paid him. And they reassured him. They said, we're sorry, we weren't home. We didn't hear when you came. We weren't there. We'll pay you every single month. Keep coming. And we'll continue paying. And the fact that they're not getting any merchandise, so that's not an excuse not to pay him. And he said, don't worry. This is a relationship they had with Seltzer and his wife. Now this man who, hi Bina, so happy to see you. B'nai Bina, Yemei Shmona, Bina. B'nai Bina, hi. So this is a relationship. Now the man who he was giving a class for, who was beating up his wife, he didn't catch it that it was him. He thought it was the other guy. Like it went right over him, And Reb Isser Zalman Meltzer thought it's about him. The Musar said, I know you meant me. I know you meant me. I have to be better. I have to be better. The person is only embarrassed if they know it's them. And after a great Musar talk, we should hear it and we should feel it. If Hashem made us hear it, it's for us. And Hashem will show us. And so Yehuda said to Yosef, you're a hypocrite. You planted the money, then you planted the becher. And then when he said, Ani Yosef, wow. And then they were so embarrassed, they backed up. They couldn't even answer him. They couldn't even answer him out of embarrassment because they can't look to anyone else for the blame. They were there, he was there. That was it. In fact, nobody else was there, and they promised they wouldn't tell anyone. They wouldn't tell a soul. And he said, I'm the one that you sold. So I must be Yosef because nobody in the world knows, just me. Wow. And it says inside so beautifully, the psukim, one is more beautiful than the other. Let's start with number 1, chapter 45, pasuk 3. Who would be able to read it? Maybe Bat Shevana?
I was trying to shield you, I'm sorry.
We'll try. ויאמר יוסף אל אחיו, אני יוסף. עוד אבי חי, ולא יכלו אחיו לאנוס אותו, כי נבהלו מפניו.
Wow, very good. Very. Shira, can you read it in English for us? Yay, thanks.
And Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were embarrassed in his presence.
They felt that shame. They felt the shame that what they did to him, and there was no blaming anyone else, and no one could have known this. And he still felt. He said, "I still am your brother. I was even your brother when you sold me." And then he goes on to say, chapter 45, pasuk 4. That's number 2. Necham, can you read the Hebrew part?
ויאמר יוסף אל אחיו, גשו נא אליי ויגשו ויאמר, אני יוסף אחיכם, אשר מכרתם אותי מצרים.
Beautiful, thank you. You read in English?
Then Joseph said to his brothers, come forward to me. And when they came forward, he said, I am your brother Joseph, who you sold into Egypt.
And they were so afraid and they didn't believe him, and he wanted to calm them down. So this time he said, I'm your brother. I'm your brother. And he said, is our father alive? No longer is my father alive, is our father. And he included them. And he wanted them to be happy and not to give up and not to become either depressed or angry. The Or Chaim says, I am your brother that you sold. Even then, when you sold me, I still had love for you. I still had love for you then, and certainly now I have love for you. And so the next pasuk is pasuk 5, chapter. That's number 3 over here. Debbie, like to read in Hebrew or English or English? Chaya, can you?
ואתה אל תעבו ואל יפר, בעיניכם כי מכרתם אותי, הנה כי למחיה שלחני אלוהים לפניכם.
Thank you, Debbie.
Step near to me, please. He saw that they
Wait.
No.
where am I?
Next page.
Sorry. Okay, it's all good.
No, reading the
Now do not be distressed.
Now do not be now do not be distressed or get angry because you sold me hither. You saved life that Hashem sent me ahead of you.
Look what he tells his brothers. He's calming them down.
Yeah.
He has every right in the world to be he just lost and ruined so many years of his life. He almost fell with Potiphar's wife. He was in jail with and what does he say? Don't be sad and don't be distressed.
What does the word hither mean?
Hither.
Come towards you.
It's a girl's name.
Come hither. Come.
I'm hither.
Come hither.
You sold me hither.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
It's
You.
Oh,
Yes,
You see.
The sentence would have been fine.
Here.
Yeah.
You sold me here.
Here,
Yeah.
right. Come hither means get over here.
Right.
No, come hither, please. Please come.
It's just an interesting choice of words.
Yes,
That's
it
all.
is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Miriam, I have to tell you a
Okay.
story
You
about
can use it in two
about
times.
Oh, we
Trying
love your
to-
stories.
Oh, yes.
trying to give somebody a little bit of rebuke in a nice way.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was very critical of her husband in front of other people. So I thought I was going to be so clever, and I gave her Rabbi Zelig Pliskin's book
Oh,
about
yeah.
marriage. So clever, right? And she said to me, I really need this. My husband needs this. I'm going to give it to him.
Right. It's like that now. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
didn't
She
get it.
missed it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute, didn't all of Egypt hear Yosef cry or something? Was that?
I know he went into another. He kept going into other rooms. At some point, I think they did hear him
Like,
cry.
I think I read that.
Yeah.
today.
Towards the end,
All
I
of-
think so.
All of
the
Egypt
people who
heard
were-
this, like, so he wanted to like be very private with him, but at the same
Then everyone found out at some point.
Well, the walls have ears, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't Russia.
And he says to them, the Or Chaim speaks beautifully about this. There's two ways that when we can, when we have a tragedy or something is very, very hard, we go through a crisis, let's say, two ways to react. There's two negative ways to react. One is to be depressed. I ruined it. I made a mistake. Look at what's happening to me. It's my fault. The other is to be angry. It's his fault. It's her fault. Why did they do that to me? Blame myself with depression or blame someone else with anger. Both are negative. Nor Chaim says both are exactly what the Yetzer Hara wants. And then what advice did he give? What advice did Yosef give? He says ve'ata, and now don't be depressed and don't be angry. The word ve'ata is in bold letters.
Yeah.
Now means move on.
Yeah.
Don't be stuck in the past, your mistake or someone else's, your fault or someone else's. Don't be stuck back there because you're not accomplishing, you're not solving anything. Move on, vata, and now he says, move on, live now. Don't be paralyzed with guilt. Do tshuva. We can turn to Hashem and say, I'm sorry. We can even say, I'm sorry for an hour straight or maybe 5 days straight, but then to move on, not to wallow in this and because it's not bringing us closer to Hashem and it's not getting us beyond the crisis. Rav Pam used to talk about this. He used to give classes and he would advise people, his students, that they should try to find someone who would want them to continue learning, because these were Torah scholars, or to teach, to be teachers of Hebrew subjects, of Chumash, of Rashi, of Gemara. And so one young student got married and things changed. He had to go out to work. So he wanted to teach. He wanted to teach Gemara to students, and his wife wanted him to have, a different kind of job, like in computers or a lawyer. I don't know. I wasn't there, and they were upset and they were like sort of arguing about this. So they came to Rav Pam, and Rav Pam said, you should go out and work what your wife wants you to do. He said, yeah, but didn't you teach us? And didn't you always say we should try to get married to someone who will be supportive of our learning, and we try to learn as long as we can, or at least be in chinuch to teach that, at least to teach others Torah. And Rav Pam answered, I told you what you should look for. Hashem decides what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
He decides through the circumstance of life what you're supposed to do. Like, I'll never forget Zechariah Wallerstein. Remember, he was at the Kosel from the age of maybe 11 through 60. And then COVID came and he found himself not at the Kosel, not in Eretz Yisrael, and back in Brooklyn, he lived in Monsey, not even in shul.
Right.
At home, him and Hashem in his living room. He said, that's where I'm supposed to be. That's exactly with me and Hashem.
Yeah.
And so instead of getting angry or depressed, he davened up a nice Yom Kippur davening with Hashem. It's very cozy. It's very special, the two of them in his living room. And once this is a situation, you did the right thing. You try to recognize the ata and now, what Yosef said in the first word of chapter 45, pasuk 5. There's like a key word that I think we could put on our fridge or our forehead. Ata. And now, like move on. Don't get stuck in the crisis or in the problem. Bata, that's the first pasuk. And now, and move on. It says somewhere else, "V'ata ma Hashem deresh mecha." Now, what does Hashem want from you? To serve Him, to fear Him. V'ata means if we take on every day as a new, total new creation, a total new reality of every day. What's my now? Sometimes it has to be every hour, sometimes every minute. But that's my now of Hashem putting me in this place, and what do you want me to do? And how can I grow? How can I continue? And so if we're willing to come to terms, v'ata, we're not depressed, then we can move on, because the reality is what Hashem makes the reality. I could have made a mistake. That's fine. I'm sorry. I do tshuva, but Hashem wanted this to be. He wanted me to go in this course, in this journey. And the students of the Baal Shem Tov, they came down to this world and again, and it was worse this time. They found themselves doing more sins. And so they came to the Baal Shem Tov and says, tell us what we can do while we're here in this 120 years in this world, that we wanted to come back again, that we could accomplish everything and not have to return. So he said, if you pass this one test, you're in. In other words, you're in Gan Eden. That is, do not say even once in your lifetime, if. If only. If only that I had that neighborhood, that job, that spouse, those children. If I made, don't, no ifs, no would've, could've, or should've. Because if you just know it's from Hashem, including my mistakes, not that means I don't take responsibility for them, but I don't get stuck there, and I move on.
I think we both need to hear this today. I'm thinking
You see me writing it down as fast as
grappling.
I had to
with
listen
something, and I'm thinking maybe it's because I did this, that such and such has happened.
Well,
Maybe if I had done that, this wouldn't be happening now. And I've been, and I'm always working on my emunah b'tachon, but something Hashem,
Or even, what did I do in another lifetime?
Oh, that's
right.
I leave that for the Kabbalah.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. I have enough of my lifetime.
That's what I always say. I have enough to deal with now.
I was
And
so distraught. And
Dana, I'm sure it was for me because
it's your fault?
No, I'm sure that this message is for me because I have to create a whole new life.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in a little bit of a rut. I even said to Deborah Hoffman this morning, we're doing kind of well, I thought. I don't know why it had to change. He was going to senior center. I thought that was pretty good.
You were doing amazing.
But Hashem thought otherwise.
Yeah. But Baruch Hashem.
He's in a good place.
So right.
You shouldn't need a nursing home, but if ever you know somebody needs a nursing home,
Pharmacy.
I
used to work there.
But this is such a timely message. See, we need to hear this again. From you.
I need to hear it for myself.
Yeah.
We all need to hear it.
So
All need to hear it.
Yeah, it's so easy to get stuck, like.
We think we have our emunah b'tachon, and then some big shift, and
Change.
then we start questioning ourselves. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I know it's from Hashem, but wait, but what if I had done that instead of this? And this maybe it wouldn't be happening. I don't even know what to do about it now. I'm like,
Even when you're happy, I was with family for Shabbat Hanukkah, and I was so happy. I had such a good time, but I'm close to tears. It's like I'm Moshe. Moshe is supposed to be here.
right. Your whole life together.
But look at what I have, and look at who I am. All right.
But you're entitled to grieve as a human being.
And us, don't forget.